Hello conscious creators, Shamna Lea Gray here from Goddess Creations, coming to you on a subject that I must say is huge for me. The subject is, it's part 7 of the Wheel of Life sequence, and it's the first one on the your emotional life. And for me, as you can see, I'm a bit apprehensive, might even be the word, because it took a lot of courage for me to come live this week on this subject, at least the first part of this subject, because the subject is about your emotional life, and boy, isn't that a big subject. That's a subject that we as women feel that there isn't enough space for, and not enough space for it to be in us, in our lives. It's almost dangerous, let's say, or very vulnerable to show your emotions. And I must be honest, and that also applies to men too. But as you know, I'm speaking to you, the woman who is the hardworking woman, who is out always pleasing another person or serving another person, and thereby forgetting her needs, who may feel anxious and overwhelmed in that may have created a chronic illness or a long-term health challenge, health issue. I'm speaking to you. And for us, and I'm feeling this in my heart, so I'm going to put my hand on my heart while I'm speaking to you. Speaking about your emotional life, or at least being aware of it or acknowledging it, is huge. Because in society there are so many stigmas on it. There are so many rules on showing your emotions. Don't exaggerate so much, take it easy, slow down, be quiet. All of that is part of the emotional shutdown that is in society. And for us to then have the courage to actually dare, even for ourselves, even alone, allow what we are feeling to just be, is quite a challenge, is quite vulnerable. Once again, vulnerable. It takes a lot of courage. So what am I talking about? In life, in the society as it is at the moment, and actually maybe for a very, very long time, speaking about your emotions, as I said, had given us a label. It's I know that in the past women were locked up for showing their emotions, and men would then call it hysteria. You know, you'd be given drugs or pills to subdue what you are feeling, which is part of life, which is part of nature. And yet, in how far does this really show up and is really your own truth? You have then, as I've spoken before in previous videos, your menstrual cycle that can affect your emotions. And also, once again, people around you will say, oh, are you in your period again? And that will can make you feel that you must shut down. That is not good enough to speak of how you feel about your emotions, or, be honest with what you feel. Hormones play a large part in your emotional up and down, and that is something that we can't really quite control. Let's say the controlling of our emotions is something that it happens in our body. How do we know? How can we control it? And that also makes us feel fearful. If it's so uncontrollable, if it's something that we have no grip on, let's say, then it's quite frightening. I mean, we are all programmed as humans to want to have as much control over our lives as possible. And so feeling emotions is actually on the other scale of that, and therefore quite scary, maybe. I know for me it is. That's why I had a hard time coming live today. So that the suppression of that feeling feels safer. Makes you want to block things out, block things down, deny how you're feeling. So, and then there of course are those that smile it away. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm fine. Where on the inside maybe we are feeling very hurt, very lonely, as I said, maybe anxious. All of these things are a way of suppressing our emotions, breathing it away, smiling, put on the happy face, denying, not looking at it, not taking the time to feel. And so here is the challenge in these coming weeks. I'm speaking about your emotional life. You can control your emotional life. You can. There are many ways to control your emotional life, your emotional well-being, because when you allow your emotions to when you actually allow how you feel to just be, no matter how ugly or ugly it may seem, you are gifting yourself. You are gifting yourself a process to come back into your real body, your real feeling. When you suppress your emotions, your body becomes hard. Let's say you create, like when you hold, it's like holding your breath like this. When you hold your breath like this, your stomach becomes hard, your muscles become tense. And when you let it go, there's a lovely softness. I know that this is how you can heal your body with regards to your emotions. I have had a client recently who was very stuck in her body, feeling the pain, feeling really locked in her body, her words. And after the process that I took her on, where she was allowed to feel her emotions, she looked so soft and beautiful. Such wonderful energy came free, let's say. And then the healing process could start. And then anger can come up, where before anger was suppressed. All of these emotions, let's say, I'm going to get to the emotions in a sec, do forgive me, but all of these things that come up that you might find anxious are actually serving you. Anger, let's say, is a signal that your boundaries may be being crossed. Someone or something or you may not even be honoring your own boundaries. So when you are feeling angry, that is a signal, and that signal is a chance for you to take action. So what types, I'm just going to share with you like 6 basic types of emotions, but really in combination it's like all the colors of the rainbow. You can say there are 7, and yet there are so many more than 7. But I want to speak to you about 6 for now. You have fear. Now, hey ho, Silver, I know that one. Fear is a big one for me. Not fear of monsters, and yet I create my own monsters. Fear of when I'm afraid of being vulnerable, and I'm speaking for myself. And why am I speaking about myself? Because I know that part of this can be recognizable for you too. That's why I'm sharing it. Being vulnerable is so freaking scary. It's like bearing your soul, bearing your heart. And if you do that, who says that the person that sees this, sees that magical, beautiful you, will treat you with care, with respect, with love? That's vulnerability. And yet, to be able to do that, you have to let go of the fear, surpass the fear, look at it, and then choose to do what you were afraid of anyway. Fear is one of them. Number 2 is anger, as I mentioned before. Anger is a very strong emotion that is also letting you know that something is not going according to how you really want. That will really, it's raw. Raw is something that in the modern society is not very welcomed, is it? Then we have disgust. Now, just saying the word and allowing that feeling of disgust to even just pour through my body, it makes me feel sick. That can be on various subjects, but the emotion of disgust is a real strong signal of no, no, no. My invitation to you is to listen to that, to allow it. Don't hide it, because once again, if you block these emotions, if you suppress them, it's still there, You might be ignoring it, but it's still there and it's stored in your body. And that can create illness, that can create dis-ease. Sadness. See, I'm going through these emotions, just sharing them with you so that I'm speaking real. Sadness, well, if you block that, then once again you are creating a wall around your true self. You become invisible if you block sadness. I know, been there, done that. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve those around you, because they don't really know who you are, what you're dealing with. And then once again you come into that vulnerability part of things, isn't it? Sadness. The release of sadness, the allowing of sadness, the letting tears. Do you know how healing crying is? Do you know that, I mean, let's just take it into the animal world. In the animal world, when an animal like a zebra, the classic example of the zebra that has been chased by the lion, I'm just saying something, and then at that moment that the zebra is safe again, it starts shaking, releasing the stress out of its body. Try crying. Try crying. Crying, if you really let go of the sadness that you may have been feeling, if you allow it, that's what I mean with let go. Not let go and push it away, but if you allow it, really have your body shake with the emotions that were stored up, you are healing yourself. The shaking is reprogramming your body, is allowing all of the tension and the pain to come out. Embarrassing? No. No. Healing? Self-love. Me, I'm all about self-love. Sadness. And from that sadness, then you can easily slip into the forgiveness. And I've spoken about this before too. Forgiving comes when you release your sadness, comes when you release your anger, when you acknowledge how you really feel. I did not know I was going to be talking about this part for so long, but obviously, I guess I find it, or Divine finds it important. Now, those were negative emotions. Now, I'm just going to share with you two more, which are more positive. So you have happiness, the smiling, the happiness from within, which means that you are content, or could be content, which means that you are feeling grateful, the gratitude of yourself, of your body, happiness with just how life unfolds. That's this feeling of bliss, this feeling of wonder. Wonder is one very strong word for this. Wonder. That excitement, that innocence of being child, the childlike wonder brings happiness. So, and then we have surprise. Surprise can be something you may not like, but it doesn't matter, because that's that feeling. That can be positive or negative, to be honest. But for now, let's just focus on the positive. Those are just a few emotions that you can be feeling. And what I'm trying to say here is you have a choice. You can choose how you want to feel by allowing and being aware of how you feel. And if it is a bad day, you know, if like for me, I waited a few days before recording this video because my energy, my vibe, the emotion I was feeling was not in an alignment with the message I wanted to share. It's okay. Then roll over, then have an extra nap, then delay, as long as it's in self-love. And give yourself the choice to go back and find out, how do I now want to feel? How do I now want to be? It's in the now, actually, that your salvation, which is a very strange word, but it's in the now that you will find the peace and the happiness you actually want. It's usually when you're looking back into the past or looking forward into the future that the anxiety and the stress comes in. And so when you allow yourself to come back into the now, that's where you can find that peace, the bubble. I'm sharing this with you because this is what I believe. This is how I work on myself. This is how I work on my clients. And then there are, coming to the emotion, the hormones, and I do believe I may share more about that later, but there are hormones in your body that have something to say about how you feel at a certain moment. You may be having the stress of life, and that can be the cortisol gearing you up into your fear and flight. You can have the oxytocin, which is the love energy, the love hormone, which you can get at, as I've shared before, with gratitude. Gratitude. In fact, it must be coursing through me now because I'm just grinning, and I'm sorry, I didn't know that I was going to be laughing. Estrogen, also a feel-good hormone. I don't want to go into too many facts anymore. My core message is this: you can influence how you feel. You can decide how you want to feel, and you can influence it by also what you eat. The foods, are they dense, are they heavy? That can have an effect on your emotion. Your emotions, your body has to work harder. Happy things that influence your brain, food that influences your brain in a positive way, will make your brain be more open and acceptable for how you want to feel, how that serves you best. You'll feel less dense. Food does give many signals as to what suits you, and I might share more on that in another video. Not for now. I'm just giving you tasters because all of it is connected to your emotion. I want to share with you chocolate. Yeah, chocolate. Don't blame yourself for wanting chocolate. Go for it. But my advice is go for the pure raw chocolate, or as dark as possible, because then you are getting to the real core of the magic that is in chocolate, in cacao, and that is what will help you in your feeling good and will trigger those hormones that will help you feel better. For now, I just want to say once again, before I let it go for now, is trust your body. Listen to your body. Don't be afraid of it. You are allowed to feel anything, and the more you allow your body to feel, the less it's going to be those feelings are going to be controlling you, and then there's nothing more to be afraid of, and then you will be more in balance and in alignment, and therefore happier. Trust your emotions. Let them be. Trust your gut, and think about it. When you do have a strong emotion coming up, just ask yourself, what is it trying to tell me? What is the message behind it? That's what I want to share with you for now. And I am in gratitude for making this video. And I actually would like to know what you think of this video. And I wish you lots of self-love and gratitude, because life is good. And the more you allow the beautiful array of emotions, the more you can actually be present and enjoy all that life has to bring. That's me for now. Shamna Lea, Goddess Creations. Bye.